Thank you for tuning in to the Punchline Podcast. My name is 𝗨𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺 discussion and interesting topics. We are about to unravel quite a lot of things that are always lingering in our minds and questions that sometimes we don't know where to get the answers for. But you know, in the Punchline podcast, that's where you'll have your answers. Right now, the topic of discussion is hemp, cannabis. 𝗪𝗺 State of the Nation address, and the new government has been ushered in. President Duma Gideon Boko yesterday at the State of the Nation address highlighted amongst a lot of things that the government is promising us, that they will introduce the cultivation of hemp and the production of hemp, which is cannabis, for industrial purposes, for economic purposes, and for medicinal purposes. So today in the studio, I am joined by none other than Mr. Professor 𝗵𝗵𝗺, who is a South African entrepreneur and a hemp industry advocate with a significant presence in the cannabis and hemp business. He played a notable role in developing and promoting health-related industries, particularly in South Africa. 𝗵𝗵𝗺 is associated with initiatives that focus on cultivation, production, and export of hemp products, emphasizing more especially on the economic, the industrial, and the medicinal benefits of it. So today we have him on the studio, and we are going to be discussing that. I believe, 𝗨𝗵𝗺𝗺, you are eager and anxious to know what exactly is this hemp business talk we are having today. Professor 𝗵𝗵𝗺, please, welcome to the Punchline podcast.
Good morning, Lawrence. Hello, all the viewers and all the people of Botswana. I'm grateful to be back.
Yes.
I'm excited. This is a great opportunity. I think when I listened to the State of the Nation address by Honorable President Duma Boko, what he promised, it's doable, it's going to be done. I'm very excited for Botswana. Yeah. And also the fact that, in this country, a lot of mistakes that we make in different countries is we want to initiate certain stuff and then there's so much red tape that, it's not possible. After all the homework has been done, and I'm a big believer, if you go into a boardroom and you had a meeting, when you go out, you implement. You don't go back to discuss the previous meeting of the previous meeting. Action is in what's happening, and this is what we're going to do in Botswana in an extremely fast, legal and fashionable way.
Okay.
And in South Africa, we've got a saying, Lawrence, that says, local is lekker. In cannabis, I've got a saying that says legal is lekker.
Legal is lekker.
Yes, and that's what we're going to do, and that's what we believe in.
Then here we are going to put some Pusha BW on it, which means Push Botswana products.
Definitely.
Before we get in there, let's start by getting to know each other.
Okay.
Professor 𝗵𝗵𝗺.
Yes, sir.
First and foremost, I'm interested in knowing what's in your surname and the mining company 𝗵𝗵𝗺 have to do with each other.
The confusion is why, I'm a 𝗵𝗵𝗺. I'm not that 𝗵𝗵𝗺, I'm not mining 𝗵𝗵𝗺.
Yes.
But talking about diamonds, not that I want to come up for 𝗵𝗵𝗺, cannabis and diamonds got so much in common.
Yes.
And I can tell you why, especially now. Now that synthetic diamonds has came out, it's actually, there's nothing as valuable as a real diamond. A synthetic diamond, it's a copy. It's not the real thing. And I think, the real prices of diamonds should go skyrocket because diamonds come from the earth. Synthetic is something, it's not real, it's fake. And if you look at what happened to medicine, I'm very grateful for all the big pharmaceutical companies, what they've done, and I think the world's grateful for what they've done for us with for medicine. Yeah. But we must look at what the benefit is of this magnificent plant prior to 1938, which was one of the best medicines in the world. And now you get a lot of other medicines, and hopefully we can go back to, to our roots, from what healed people, why people were so healthy, why there weren't cancer, so many cases of cancer and HIV and all kinds of sicknesses prior to 1938. So
Okay, take me back a little bit here, because I would like to know how our conversation is going to go, and I would like to know if I'm speaking to the right man here with the right
100%.
expertise and experience. First and foremost, I would like to know your journey in the cannabis hemp industry.
My journey was a long journey. To be honest, you know, in South Africa, cannabis has only been made legal about 4.5, 5 years ago. Prior to that, it was hemp permits that we got, which was for research and development. But I was in the fortunate or unfortunate situation where my dad got very ill, probably about 17, 18 years ago, where they gave him 3 months to, you know, to live. Did not want to do the chemotherapy thing. I did a lot of research. I don't want to say I did illegal cannabis, but I did what I had to do. I got the right medicine, and obviously with faith, you know, prayed a lot. It added 12 years to my dad's life. My mother, as I said here, has been a Section 21 patient in South Africa, legal now 3 years.
Wow.
She's got sugar diabetes, bone marrow disease, 1 stage. They thought she had cancer. She's 78 years old. The amount of medicines that she used was crazy. We always got confused, is that the right pills? And she's only been on, she's no smoker, no drinker. She's only been on cannabis gummies that we give my mother, and Canagot, the specific product that we give my mother. She's never been as healthy as she is now. You know, sometimes I think, geez, my mother's gonna live longer than me, because, you know, she's very healthy now.
This is your personal
so this is my
experience
personal
with
experience.
hemp and what
So
has
it's
happened to
17
you
years,
that
and
actually inspired you.
that inspired me. And my dad said, then what you do now is concentrate on this, because this is the future of the world. And this was 17, 18 years ago. And I've been an advocate for, you know, for cannabis, medicinal cannabis and hemp for the past 17 years. I've got legal facilities in South Africa with licenses, complementary medicines manufacturing license. Over 3,000, 2.5, 3,000 patients. I've stopped counting. I believe I was one of the first people in South Africa to actually introduce medicinal cannabis that was grown in South Africa to patients and give them, you know, to patients in South Africa. And the absolute success rate, you know, I saw the report of the doctor about 2 months ago for, I think, 600 or 700 patients. Phenomenal, 100% success rate. So I'm extremely excited. This is what it is. It's a gift from God, you know. So this is my journey in cannabis.
You have gone ahead with some of the things that I'm going to ask, but we'll unravel them so that we get a deeper understanding
100%.
of the medicinal aspect and the statistics you are putting up front.
Yes.
Obviously, what I would want to understand as a listener right from the beginning is, how do we differentiate between cannabis marijuana and cannabis hemp? We know previously there has been a misconception where, even right now it's happening, there's a misconception where people confuse the two with the marijuana that gets smoking and this hemp that we are particularly talking about. Can you just elaborate the distinct difference of it?
Yes. See, this is the thing. If you talk about hemp is a specific plant. It's a cannabis plant. It's a strain that you basically grow, that grows with long stalks, but it also develops a flower. That flower's got CBD in it. And that flower, you can actually extract that flower for medicinal purposes as well. But the most important thing about hemp is the material, the fiber that you get in your stalk. You use like hemp trains, special machinery, to actually manufacture products that's as strong as steel. I think there were planes built in 1930 or 1940, around about there. There was Ford actually, with the research that we've done, actually built even cars, you know, car parts, you know, from hemp. So that's the main thing about hemp. And then if you talk about medicinal cannabis, then you talk about a plant that's grown in a specific condition. And what's very important about medicinal cannabis is your THC, CBD, CBG, and CBN count. Those are the different cannabinoids that you get, the important cannabinoids that you've got, in those plants.
Is the content ratio of the THC?
It's the THC, yes. Okay. So the THC one, it's the medicinal one.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people, around the world actually use cannabis to smoke. They put it, what we call it, let's call a spade a spade. They put it, what you call it, in a joint, and they use it to get high. Now, the only way I can explain this is like, during COVID, we had to sanitize, and we used alcohol. And that was to actually clean our hands and clean everything around us, that we can get rid of the virus in that specific way. But alcohol you can get in a different way as well, in a liquor store, where you can actually abuse it and can get drunk. The thing about cannabis, about medicinal cannabis, is your heavy metal count should be less to 0.
Okay.
It's very important. Then you're talking about medicinal. And to do that in a controlled environment, that's possible. Also, everybody will think, yeah, but it's easy, just to grow cannabis, medicinal cannabis. I can just grow it at my house. The problem is that
in the backyard.
In your backyard. The problem is you're going to go on Google, and then you're going to get certain nutrients, which is not natural, and you're going to feed that to the plant. Cannabis is a predator. What the roots take, what you feed it, it will take in, will actually put it inside the head. So is it really medicinal is it really healthy if you smoke it that way? So be always careful if you smoke it in that way. I personally don't smoke cannabis at all. I smoke normal cigarettes. I'm trying to quit. It's a bad habit. Hopefully that will all be quitting soon. With a lot of people internationally believe that if you put it in a joint and you smoke it, you must understand, if you smoke it, then you activate one specific cannabinoid, which is THC. And that's a psychoactive cannabinoid. Okay. But if you do look at all the research that's done with people that's smoking cannabis, if I drink a bottle of whiskey and I get drunk, it might make me aggressive and I get into an accident. Yes. If I use cannabis, it actually calms me down. It relaxes me. So I'm not saying to say smoke cannabis, but I don't think we should crucify people that prefer that method of treatment. If they want to use it in a way where they actually inhale it.
Yes. To make a disparity in that, to avoid confusion, so basically what you'll be bringing here, or what you're trying to introduce here, is the medicinal cannabis.
No, medicinal cannabis is only one of the products that cannabis that will coming from the plant.
Yes.
Hemp is crucial for the world.
So the primary focus is
focus is hemp.
Okay.
But the world wants medicinal cannabis as well. And we need to look at that market
as another byproduct.
Okay. But that's a different market. It will be different licenses and permits that that will be issued.
So at the core of maybe coming here and looking at Botswana's landscape, and obviously that there's an introductory industry, which one would be given more priority? Obviously, we need to be able to control and be able to have regulation. Is it the hemp or the industrial side of it?
It is. I'm going to be dead honest. I think we will focus on both, and we've got so much experience and knowledge. And you've got the people here. We've got unemployed people. We've got no time to let people sit at home and don't have work. We need to employ people. And what we will do, we'll put the regulations. I'm sure your government and your presidency with your Minister of Health and your Minister of Agriculture, where we will assist, put all the regulations in place extremely fast. It's not that we need to rethink about how to do it. The mistakes has been made by other countries, and this is the beauty of it. We know what the mistakes is. We've implemented successfully, so we'll focus on both. But the main focus that we will have is to create employment in Botswana, to generate income for this country, and enhance the GDP of this country. And that is by introducing and doing both this in a fast, effective, controlled manner.
Okay, as an example, tell me what is happening in your industrial production in South Africa. Where did you start? How many people do you employ? How much do you generate?
I think in South Africa there's about 120 or 130 licenses issued.
To you?
No, in South Africa in total, for THC, you know, for the medicinal cannabis. Hemp licenses, if I'm not mistaken, I think about 500 or 600. It's easy to issue a license, or it's not that easy to get a license. To get a hemp license in South Africa, you pay a specific fee, and then you apply for your license, and then you get your hemp license. But I think the difficult part is, where does the money come from to actually grow it, to grow this crop?
To start, yes.
Yes, and I think this is one of the mandates that we've got, is to bring the investors in, and I'm sure in Botswana, and you know, there's a lot of people that would think we've got land, we want to grow. So our specific journey in South Africa, you know, to put up a medicinal cannabis facility can cost you anything from 5 million to 120 million rand, depending on the size. You know, I was fortunate to be one of our license that we've got in South Africa is license number 9. And I'm involved in several other licenses. So the profit is there currently at our one facility. We employ a little bit more than 50 people. We're busy with a program in South Africa with the National Youth Development Agency, where we are training youth how to actually grow this crop from medicinal to hemp as well. And it's a very lucrative business if you do it right. But to get it right, that's where the trick is. You know, I had to consult with people that's been in this industry for a very long time. I'm very fortunate to meet some of the best growers in the world to come and train us and show us the right way. I've got of the best, I think, you know, in South Africa, and most of our facilities do have. There's a lot of facilities that's successful, and obviously then you get facilities that's, you know,
what's your production level?
Currently now on the one facility about 100 kilograms per month. And it sounds little, but you know, that is with the 14 greenhouses. Okay. But you've got to understand, a greenhouse looks big. This is on the medicinal side. In South Africa, we've just done with the import planting season has just started now, on about 27 farms. I'm speaking under correction, but we are getting ready to export about 2,000 tons of, you know, hemp material and hemp flour. So, and it is growing. You must understand, even in South Africa, although it's been 4.5 years, it's also a new industry. And I think we must be grateful for what's happening in Botswana is we will fast track it, and we can learn through all the mistakes that was made by the other countries, how to actually implement this now. Other facilities employ 50 people, 30 people, 80 people, 90 people, 20 people. There's a program about to start where we're going to train 1,250 people in South Africa through another a government initiative. And the big thing about the cannabis is you need to train people. And like I said as well, you know, we've got a certain part that's theory and that's practical. Theory is about an hour in a day, but practical is literally how to actually grow it and how to actually feed it and how to trim it. And what's nice about this product that we've got is the amount of jobs it is creating as we sit here, and will create, you know, in Botswana and worldwide, and in Africa specifically.
How much jobs could you say you have created, maybe by the end of this year or the past year in South Africa, and maybe potential revenue that you have realized through this business?
In South Africa, what happened there is, just to give you an idea, I think we've got over 4,200 what they call dispensaries or won't say legal dispensaries. I think there's processes in place where they're going to make these legal dispensaries. We believe in
the
just
retail
legal
space,
in the retail space.
Yes.
Those shops, and that's all over South Africa, employ at least 2 to 3 people. On the growing space, I think currently about 5,000, 6,000 easily. But the world was not, I don't think the world was as ready as it is now. And you've got to understand something that's where cannabis plays and hemp plays an extremely big role is in climate change.
Okay.
Because what this plant, what hemp does, if you grow hemp, you get carbon credits because it creates oxygen, you know, at night. So it's like a tree, but it goes much faster. And the amount of products that you can make from hemp that is biodegradable, like hemp plastics and straws and everything that we're going to show you, is going to make such a huge change in the climate control space around the world that it's a phenomenal opportunity. And it took time, so yes, but we're nearly there.
I mean, two things.
Yes, sir.
We're actually moving in a space where we have been labeled a broke gang, kind of. And I think right now the new government is trying to open up opportunities where we can revitalize the economy. I'm specifically asking this question so that I can be able to mirror what we desire to introduce in our space and what is actually happening out there. Hence the reason of trying to get a picture of how much revenue and a facility like yours can generate in a year, so that I can be able to look at it through the numbers.
One facility with 10 greenhouses, which will give you approximately 400 kilograms of medicinal cannabis. Let's talk about the medicinal side first. At 20 Rand minimum, if you really want to give it away overseas, one South Africa, at 20 Rand a gram, gives you 400, about 8 million Rand a month. So, and that's with only 10 greenhouses. But the fact, if you look at the facilities in South Africa, anything from 5 million, this, depending on your size of your facility, to about 20 million Rand, you know, per month. That's on a facility. On the hemp basis, I'm going to break it down in hectares that you understand hectares with the off-take agreements that's in place. Okay. Rand-wise, after your expenses per hectare on every crop, you'll pocket about between 150,000 and 200,000 Rand, you know, per hectare, which is in Pula-wise, I think about 160,000 Pula, you know, every 4 months. And it's labor intensive, which we love, because that is what we need. We need labor, we need to create jobs. And the nice part about these products is that the profit is there, you know. And in cannabis, we must, you know, sharing is caring. We must pay people decent wages. And this is what what I love about this, you know. It's cannabis facilities no need to be greedy and cut down on costs, you know, on your staff. I mean, the biggest asset of any company is not your patents and your product, it is your staff. My biggest asset that I've got is not the license, it's the phenomenal staff that I've got. If it was not for the staff, the doctors in South Africa, the nurses that's there, our pharmacists that's at the facilities, the workers that work in the greenhouses, the people that does the trimming, the people that makes these straws, the people that works at the manufacturing. If it was not for the workers, there's no business, because that is the asset.
That's a huge value
and
chain.
that is the value chain. And I think this is something that I love about Botswana. We've got the opportunity to start up fresh, fast, efficient, and go big and make this work in Botswana without making mistakes.
Okay. So then how well does hemp grow in this maybe semi-arid regions like Botswana, where water also is in scarcity in other areas? What has been your assessment?
The assessment and the experience of that, you know, especially, you know, hemp, it's a weed. You know, it's a predator. This plant survives. You know, and the beauty about growing hemp is we don't care about the flower. We after the stalk. We're after that biodegradable material that we can use to actually manufacture bricks and make hempcrete and roof tiles and car parts and straws and clothing. So that's the beauty. So the water, it's not, I did a lot of research, and I think Botswana, you've got enough water in Botswana, in your regions, in your different constituencies here, that we will not decrease your food production and grow hemp. And just that people know, hemp, the flower of hemp, the hemp seed itself, it's a super food. It's absolutely a crazy nutrient. We've done a test in South Africa through a company called 𝗵𝐴𝐵, where we actually took some hemp seeds and fed it to free-range chickens to lay eggs.
Whoa.
And we've got a report on that, and we tested the eggs, the hemp eggs, we call it hemp egg, with normal eggs. And it's phenomenal, the delta-9 fatty acids that's more in the egg. It's phenomenal. And the protein that hemp seeds has got, it's a super protein. It can feed nations where people are going hungry by eating hemp seeds and making simplified products from hemp seeds, like hemp bread that we want to bring out.
That's quite interesting.
Superfood.
Earlier on, you highlighted an issue about managing impurities when you are planting when you are planting the seed, so that you make sure that you are controlling everything that goes into the plant. Speaking of the consumption side of things, is it stuff that you can just use with? You basically need clean water, or you can use grey water?
You know what? If you plant hemp, you can use grey water. But you must understand, before that food will be given to any people, you will do COAs, a COA certificate of analysis, on the specific seed before it's put into food. And also with hemp is, if you grow medicinally, it's very important that the water that you use is, you test all your levels of your, you do all the chemical testing, on your water before you feed your plants. Like in South Africa, we use reverse osmosis systems. Another great way that we found that works like a bomb is if you've got a lot of fish, the manure of fish, and that cleans the water, so, or not cleans the water, it puts the protein in the water that is great for the growing of cannabis.
So what is the planting process, the cultivation process? I mean, seasonally, how exactly do you go through the process from cultivation to harvest? Maybe in short.
In short, with hemp is let's be conservatives and say 2 harvests a year, 4 to 5 months, per harvest. Medicinal cannabis, you can harvest every 3 months. You can harvest your greenhouses. If it's light controlled and in an indoor facility, you can basically do it every 2 months. But again, you've got to look at your carbon footprint. And you must understand with growing medicinal cannabis, especially where there's a lot of sunlight. And this is the beauty of Botswana, because this is something that hemp and cannabis love. It loves the sun. Nothing can mimic the sun. So that's basically the growing cycles that you've got.
Oh, okay. So obviously there will be challenges in terms of pests and diseases and all the likes. How do you manage them? Or are they not even prone to such?
When we did the first pilot, when I got the first license and we started in Botswana, when that license was stopped, let's not go back, into history. We had problems with locust. And as crazy as this sounds, caught the locust, you cook the locust, add a flavor to it, you put it in a packet, you export it to China as a delicatessen, as a food. So you don't need to use pesticides.
Okay.
So there's ways of controlling pests by not using pesticides, because pesticides is not always good for humans. You know, we're going to do this in a way that most important thing is the end user. It's the last person that will use this product, that this product will be healthy.
So in that case, speaking of diversification of the whole value chain of a single plant and whatever comes with it, how about the soil, the issues on soil health and quality? What type of soil do you need?
We found that it's absolutely crazy because, like I said, cannabis is a weed.
Yes.
You know, it's got this character
to grow.
To happen. That's why,
yes.
You know, a lot of people, you know, will say, but you know, I just dropped the seed and the thing just grew. You know, so very important that I think that we must what must keep in mind is rehabilitation of mines. There you should never ever do medicinal cannabis. What you should do there is grow hemp. But then what you do an early harvest. You actually harvest before there's a flower. Because when there's a flower, you know, we are human, and then it will look like something that we can use, and you know, we are human, and then it will go to market, and we just make sure we harvest before it starts flowering. But then at least it takes all the toxins out of the ground,
yes.
and we take the material, the fibers,
yes.
and we put the fiber to use to manufacture something
yes.
that is in a product then that does not go back into Mother Earth. You know, something great that I hope we would implement in future in South Africa is we take the mining dumps that needs to be rehabilitated, and we change that to our sites where we take all our waste, you know, our waste material.
Oh.
And then we take our waste material sites and we actually start planting hemp there, because those waste material sites that we've got are so full of nutrients and you know, of all the stuff that we threw away. So we've got to look at unique opportunities.
Yeah.
And that's what is great about your leadership in this country. What the president said is you've got to think out of the box.
Yes.
And this is time to think out of the box, because there's no time to waste here. We need to create jobs, and we need to grow this economy of Botswana and South Africa and the entire Africa.
Yes. The issue you're talking about, actually, quietly, I don't believe there's a box. I was going to ask the question before you answered it, so I would like to confirm whether it's a yes or no, because my question was going to be, does the cultivation of hemp have potential benefits in carbon sequestration and improving nutrients in the cycle of the soil?
Yes.
Okay, that's quite interesting. So, like you are saying, that we can rehabilitate some of our old mines and places by actually turning them into hemp production sites.
Yes.
That's quite interesting. So then how do you compare it with other farm crops in terms of pesticides and fertilizer requirements?
You must, like I said again, it's such a unique product. You know, it's a weed. You know, none of the places where we grow hemp in South Africa currently, or medicinal cannabis,
fertilizers and stuff,
we use chemical fertilizers. We've got organic fertilizer that has been, you know, developed, that we use, you know, in feeding the ground. Only organic fertilizing.
So hemp is not an invasive or disruptive plant that can affect our ecosystems in such a way?
It's never been, you know. This is the sad part of you know, what happened since 1938.
Yes, yes.
You know, it's been seen like that, but it's never been like that. It's an amazing plant. So it cannot. No, it cannot.
No, basically, I'm just trying to
Yes.
Understand the myths and the facts around this, since you have a lot of experience in dealing with it.
Yes.
Obviously, this sparked national dialogue, and you have a lot of people asking questions, some from coming from a different place of understanding, others completely not knowledgeable about what this is and at all. But for me, ultimately, it's when you understand, or when we have demystified the environmental impact aspect of it and the safety of it, and how much value does it bring into our soils and the environment, it therefore begs me the question of trying to understand now the economics of it.
Yes.
The economics of it. as a country like Botswana, what do we stand to benefit on the tangible once we start producing this?
Job creation,
Yes.
immediate job creation, which is very important, with decent wages, export opportunities, and you've got the land. And the fact that you've got a government that is not going to put so much red tape on doing this, but in the same breath I'm saying that, make sure that we do it in a legal way, constructive way, and in an organized manner. So the country is going to benefit financially extremely, because we will tax this from, I think, your country.
Yes.
Not speaking, you've got your Minister of Finance, and you've got your Minister of Agriculture, your Minister of Health,
And trade,
but it will be taxed,
Yes.
from the beginning, that we make sure that the revenue is there. And also when we export it, we will not, just export because export's export. We will make sure that the revenue is there. And you've got the land, you've got the sunlight, and you've got the people. And this is, in other countries, it's regulations control people, and sunlight is a massive problem. And in Africa specifically, we are very fortunate that we've got all of that benefits.
So to narrow down on my question, I was basically trying to understand commodities and products that are low-hanging fruits for us as a country, as Botswana, that we could potentially say at the top of our list, these are the first products that we can say on the first year of a cycle of production we can be able to put on the market, and they have a huge success rate.
Yes, that will be
low-hanging fruits. Yes.
low-hanging fruits will be, maybe we can go to some of the products and I can show you. This is what we call a hemp straw. Okay, it's actually, and it creates a lot of jobs. This comes from cannabis.
Okay.
It's grows with automatic hole in the middle.
Okay.
It's 100% biodegradable. So if this ends up in a river or an ocean, there's no THC, CBD, CBG, CBN, anything inside. This you can grind this and smoke this.
Yeah, it's hollow.
It's hollow, yes.
Almost like bamboo, but different.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, different, but it uses less water than bamboo, and it's strong, and you can use it as many times as you want to. But the most important thing about this is biodegradable.
I can try.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
You're more than welcome.
Let's see. Whoa. Okay. And then we need to brand them Botswana.
Yes, we're going to brand them Botswana.
Yes.
We'll get, yes.
Yes.
And
these are the low-hanging fruits.
These
of
are
what
the
you can
low-hanging fruits.
already produce.
Yes,
and
and
mass
then the
and
biodegradable,
export. Yes.
I brought you a box with, to show that if you send a 𝗨𝗏𝗺 or Amazon,
Yes.
and you get this box that they send to you,
Yes.
then what happens is we've got either paper that's inside there or bubble wrap. Now, through a simple system, we'll take the stalk and, from the hemp,
Yes.
just through a wood chipper.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
simple.
Yes.
And I
Yes,
can show
just
you
bring it.
now what will happen. Instead of this,
Yes.
instead of having something that's going to go back into the ground,
Yes. Yes.
that is not good for the ground, that
Yes.
puts chemicals back into the ground. This is 100% natural,
Yes.
and it
yes.
actually puts potassium and calcium back into the ground.
Okay.
So,
Let me feel that. Yes.
and you can feel it, soft.
Yes.
And the manufacturing way, this is low-hanging fruit. Now, if you just
Smells
think
like
about
cannabis. Yes.
yes, but you can smoke it, and you can't get high. It's not possible. People think if they walk into a
Yes.
greenhouse,
Yes.
you walk into a cannabis,
Yes.
into a specific
Let
greenhouse,
me put it there.
you can
Yes.
you get high.
Yes.
You must understand it's not possible to get
Yes.
high if a plant is growing.
Yes. Yes.
If the cannabinoid's not activated, you cannot get high.
Yes, it doesn't activate
It's not
its
activated.
cannabinoids.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
That's quite interesting. So those are some of the
That's
low-hanging
two-
fruits as
and
an
then
example
also,
of what
medicine.
Botswana can do
Yes,
once we hit the ground
immediately.
running. Yes.
And also health-wise,
Yes.
worldwide we've got an opiate problem.
Okay.
Worldwide. One of the products which I think is going to be phenomenal for health in Botswana and worldwide
Yes.
is this product called 𝗪𝗏𝗺. This is natural. There's no chemicals inside, yeah.
What is
This is
that?
how it looks. It's called 𝗏𝗏𝗺.
It's called 𝗏𝗏𝗺.
𝗏𝗏𝗺.
Oh, okay.
Now, through hemp flour and some medicinal flour, a special mix, it's get put into a tablet like this.
Okay.
You take one tablet at night or in the morning, and what it will do for your health, it is absolutely amazing. And again, you know, we've got to be call a spade a spade. If you look what all the medicines that we've got there, like I say, thank you to all the big pharmaceutical companies what you've done, but you've got to look at the side effects, and is the side effects, you know, does it work for our bodies? Now, what's nice about this product, if show you all the research papers on cannabis worldwide, on raw cannabis flower that's capsulized, what that can do for your body, you'll be surprised with all the medical evidence that's already there.
Okay.
So we don't need to, this is stuff that we don't need to pilot. You know, I'm not a pilot, you know.
It says it's expectedly crafted to support HIV/AIDS management.
Yes.
With natural ingredients that offer aid and comfort, empowering individuals in their path to wellness. HIV/AIDS.
Yes, in South Africa, this is medicinal cannabis.
Okay.
If you apply in South Africa, how it works, you apply for a specific, the doctor gives you a prescription.
Yes.
You apply for a medicinal cannabis, and one of the sicknesses, if you've got HIV/AIDS, and if you use cannabis in a raw flower form, it's actually one of the sicknesses that if you apply at our regulator, that approves it. And we've got, what's crazy is we've got some HIV patients that started using this, and the results are available, you know, to see what, you know, how it worked for them. It's
okay. Let's be thoroughly clear about it, because there could be a misconception as well. Does it? I hear you say support HIV/AIDS management. You are not basically saying cure, right?
I am not allowed to cure. Time will tell. And
because I wanted us to clear that, because medically, it's a dangerous area.
It's a very
to find
dangerous area.
yourself
Yes. So I'm not saying that. So let's call this a supplement.
A supplement.
This will be a supplement for, you know, if you use your ARVs and you want to supplement it with something and give it a try, this is a phenomenal supplement, and all the medical evidence worldwide what cannabis can do is already there. Yes. Because you must understand, your entire body is a cannabinoid system, and this is cannabinoids.
Okay. What does it supplement? What does it do?
A supplement, it enhances your cannabinoid. It's immune booster.
Yes, yes.
And if you look at you know, the main thing, especially, let's talk about HIV/AIDS. What happens with if the virus attacks you, it attacks your immune system.
Yes.
And what cannabis does is, it's your body is a cannabinoid system. This actually gives you natural cannabinoids. So it boosts it. So this actually builds your immune system. And
just like many other herbs in their various forms that are used to boost the immune system, or to bring appetite, because I see here it's labeled appetite stimulator. There's pain, inflammation, depression and anxiety.
Yes.
Which are some of the things that happen to you when you are unwell, when your body is unwell.
Yes.
Okay. So okay, I want you to then clear for one more time on this issue about HIV/AIDS, because I don't want people having a misconception about how you put it. Yes, please.
This is a great supplement.
Yes.
If you've got HIV/AIDS, you're sick, you've got pain, use this as a supplement. Don't stop anything else, and only time will tell what this magnificent plant can do. Like I said before in one of the previous interviews, if I told you 30 years ago, I'm going to take a device, I'm going to put it on my ear and open it and have a video call with somebody 10,000 miles away, you would say, but you are a crazy person. So today it's reality. So let's see what cannabis and these products are going to do worldwide. So this is one of the low-hanging fruits. Then the other low-hanging fruit is what we call a product called 𝗛𝗲𝗺𝗺.
Okay.
𝗛𝗛𝗺 is where we infuse coconut oil with hemp seeds and cannabis, and then as I gave you some, just to test that you can, what.
Yes, I used this oil last night.
Yeah, so you've got insomnia, so you can
yes,
say your
I
own
have
experience.
insomnia, so I think you said I should rub it under my
Your feet
and put on my socks.
Yes.
I passed out within 10 minutes, and I woke up at 6 a.m. sharp. But I don't know, it was just one cycle. Like I was saying to you earlier, maybe I have to check it 3, 4, 5 times before I can validate my theory.
Validate. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the manufacturing of stuff like this, you must understand, in other countries, manufacturing are very expensive, and labor is hard to come by because people they get high wages because their stuff are very expensive. In Africa and Botswana, we've got the people here. They're hungry for work and they want to work. Let's just pay them a decent wage. And these products like this, when this goes to market now, it's, to do 100,000, tubs like this is nothing, per month, or a million of these tubs that you've got to export, to Germany, Europe, and Switzerland. So.
You left me behind somewhere, especially with the oil.
Yes.
I'm interested in knowing, as a low-hanging fruit and basically for small-scale farmers, because I believe that will be the entry level when it gets introduced in Botswana.
Yes.
How do you get to end up with a product like this from the plant?
We'll actually teach them to manufacture this in an environment that's healthy and that's controlled. Where you infuse your coconut oil with your flower, your cannabis flower, your hemp flower, and your medicinal cannabis flower. So we'll teach these farmers how to do that. And
what? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you can proceed.
It's I won't say it's easy, but you don't need to go to university and study for a doctor to do this. We will teach you and show you the ways. Now, I foresee massive opportunities in Botswana for factories that actually produces these 𝗪𝗪𝗺𝗪 and the 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 and the other products,
so
𝗛𝗪𝗺𝗺.
Yes.
Yes.
So your farmer has reached this stage and they have packaged the tablets, the straw, the oil. Individually, what will be a price tag for each? I'm just trying to get the math.
Internationally, what we do, it sounds crazy, but in California, they put this on the market for $9 US dollars.
Okay.
But what we're going to do, because it creates jobs and there's carbon credits involved here, internationally we'll wholesale this for about $5.50. As it is here, packed. And even this box that you see is made from hemp material. It's a biodegradable material. The 𝗛𝗺𝗺𝗺, because will selling price will be approximately 350 rand. Okay. For a tub like this, and profit is there. I can guarantee you that. And the 𝗪𝗪𝗺𝗪, if you look at the current prices of other medicines and the manufacturing costs of the 𝗪𝗪𝗺𝗪, then you'll see the profit is there. But I think what we will do in Botswana is let the farmer be a farmer, let the farmer farm, let the manufacturer manufacture, and let's give everybody an opportunity. That we do not, keep this industry just one group and just one group of people, or that does that. So everybody will have an opportunity, in the manufacturing and growing chain, of this.
Actually, having said that, I think you gave an example of the low-hanging fruits of what the economic benefits of products that can come out of this. I would like to be interested in the issue about the industrial side of it. We don't have industries currently here in Botswana? What is the thought around it?
We've already got international investors, and ourselves, you know, my partners that I've got, we've got capability and international investors. So bring the investors here, set up the factory. So the thought would be the landowner and the investor. It's a joint venture, you know, where the Botswana people and the government, you know, benefits. You know, everybody benefits. So that is the, you know, the thought around that. And then obviously, like I said, always keep in mind that the carbon credits, the fact that we need to go green, the fact that we need to look after the earth and the ozone layer that we've got, and start making green products. Now, to just give you an idea, if you had 500 tons or 5,000 tons of hemp material right now, then I would have started speaking to the buyer, get the import permits immediately, get your X permits from Botswana, and we'll send it out immediately, and there's money. Like the sums I gave you earlier. So the market is there. There's actually a shortage. Even in South Africa, medicinal cannabis wise, export wise, you know, the grow facilities, you know, we're under a lot of pressure to manufacture more and more and more, because the world knows what the quality of, you know, the product is that we do. Very important in Botswana, like in South Africa, two things: quality and quantity. And that is what we will chase, and that's what we will go for in Botswana specifically.
So are you basically saying we could see Botswana being in a position where we can manufacture more cloth?
A lot of cloth. I see Botswana where we will be in a position where we will manufacture clothing. We will made from hemp. We will manufacture bricks, even the houses, if we've got enough material when we start growing, because we need to grow it and build up stock, that we can start building houses from hemp material, make shoes, tables, chairs. So the opportunity is phenomenal. You know, make hemp seeds, that we've got the seed that we can export the seeds as a superfood, the nutrients, make the medicine. So I see Botswana in a phenomenal position because of your leadership and the vision that your leadership has got and your government has taken, you know, in the way they approach this industry.
Okay. When you mention medicinal and all of this, I mean, obviously it's going to be a regulated and managed environment.
Definitely.
Through policies and infrastructure that the government definitely must put in place. How then do you get this from the factory to the pharmacy, and how do doctors get to be able to prescribe this?
I'm going to use South African as an example. Firstly, the doctor needs to be registered. We've got a regulator in South Africa. So I think you've also got BOMRA or something like that here in Botswana. I think very important for cannabis specifically and hemp is see that as an industry and a regulating body as one, as a separate, that's an entity that works separately with only that prescribing. But in South Africa, how it works is the doctor register with our regulator. There's got to be a prescribing doctor. Then what the doctor does, the patient sees the doctor. In South Africa, we call it the Section 21. The patient gives the reason why medicinal cannabis and not any other product. The doctor does, you know, they've got the experience. They decide, can I prescribe medicinal cannabis? Then they prescribe medicinal cannabis. They do an application at our regulator. Our regulator approves it. When it's approved, it's a specific letter. Then what we do, we own the IP on this. This is called the medicinal cannabis code. It's like a driver's license with a QR code on it and an RFID. It gets issued to the patient with a specific amount that this specific patient can carry with him, and that is allowed in a specific packaging. But the moment that is been approved, then even on the application and all of this documentation and regulations we're bringing to Botswana that's going to be implemented extremely soon, that we don't have to wait.
They even mentioned the quantities.
They even mentioned the quantities.
And the type, the generic type of which cannabis you
Yes,
should be licensed
yes.
to
use.
That's quite interesting.
And specifically on that one, I think you'll see as well what we've done.
And the validity of how much then does one pay for this in South Africa? Or
in South Africa, you know, we allow patients, depending on you'll get a patient that use about 120 grams per month, but then you will get a patient that would say, I don't smoke cannabis. I can't afford to
smoke. Use my lungs,
to buy 1 kilogram because I
Okay.
want to make my own oil.
Okay.
I want to infuse I want to make my own oil like this. Then a patient like that will get more cannabis and an entire manual to basically how to take that cannabis and actually make his own oil in a very simplified way. You know, you get patients like that. So also what we've done in South Africa is this is actually the only one in the world that this is very unique. So this is a medical device.
Okay.
It's licensed as a medical device with a license. I'm going to show you this. You know, vaping.
It's a vape.
It's a vape.
Okay.
Okay, but we call it a medicinal cannabinoid inhaler.
Okay.
But you know, vape's very dangerous because we don't want kids to smoke. So how this specific unit works, because we've got a power problem, just show you. It's got a solar panel, and that is the cartridge. And
the vape has a solar panel.
this is a solar panel on the vape.
All right.
Okay, to charge the battery. This is the cartridge, and just that everybody knows, I've got like a coffee vape inside here because I know I cannot bring it in. So just that everybody's aware.
Yes.
Don't want to get into trouble again.
Yes.
Then very unique about this vape.
Yes.
This vape only works with my fingerprint.
Oh.
So if there's THC, CBD, CBG, or one of the cannabinoids in a vaping liquid inside this vape, and you actually use it, you don't want that vape to lay on a table or a child, you know, to get hold of it. So it's programmed in such a way that only the user's fingerprint will work on this. Now,
it uses biometrics.
Biometrics, yes, and it's got software as well that we can set it. The doctor can set it. You can only use it 6 in the morning till 10 past 6, 5 inhalings for only 10 seconds. It's actually, we program it like that. But when I'm excited for Botswana and the entire Africa, and this will, like I say, it's crazy people like us to think of crazy stuff. I foreseen the entire medical industry worldwide in the next 10 years, where any tablet that you can think of, you'll be able to get in a liquid form that will be put in a device like this that's controlled, that you will be able to use like this, and if you inhale it, it will work immediately. Now, let me explain to you in theory, and if you do a lot of medical research, you see what where I'm getting to is by not having it in a pill form, my mouth and my lungs has got glands, and we've learned this with the COVID, with the virus. It came through our lungs, and if you actually do your research, and how many people passed away that were smokers and that used cannabis on the specific time of COVID, you'll be surprised. You're going to fall on your back if you do the research on how little deaths, if any, there were with, you know, when COVID broke out. So
that's all going to block our podcast. Yes.
So the future of medicine, I foreseen will be in a liquid form where you will inhale that specific medicine and it will interact with your body immediately, where we don't put that much pressure on your liver and on your kidneys, and where the side effects are less. So medicine worldwide are evolving, and this is very important, you know, so that we keep that in mind, you know, going forward. And I think this is the vision that Africa's got, and you know, South Africa this is
So
where we're going to.
basically, you're saying that we might see tablets becoming a thing of the past, and we have to vape in most of our medicine through this method.
That is,
or specifically
yes,
just
that is,
for this particular area.
That is what I'm saying. That
Okay,
is
for this
where
particular area. So then, if the liquid is in there, I'm trying to ask, what's the use by date? How long does it, the shelf life, how long does it last before you can say it's unusable and it has expired or something like that?
You know, through experience, what I've seen, when you look at cannabis, specifically, let's talk about medicinal cannabis. If you just store it naturally, what happens is you call it terpenes. Now, terpenes is the taste and the smell. That's why you've got the taste of it. That's why you've got your blue gelatos, you've got your Charlotte's Angel, you've got funny names for all of these, you know, cannabis strains. Cherry bubble gum, because it's got that taste to it. So what happens over time is the terpenes, which has also got a medical benefit, gets less. But the most important thing is, with experience, I see that the longer you can store cannabis and keep it, it's like whiskey.
Oh.
The actually better it gets.
Okay.
Now, a very unique cannabinoid is a cannabinoid called CBN. Now, CBN is a cannabinoid that actually makes you, makes you sleep. Now, if you can afford to grow cannabis and you had a big vault and you can store your cannabis naturally, what happens is CBN naturally starts, your cannabinoids, your THC, CBG and CBD naturally starts developing into a cannabinoid over a period called CBN. And CBN can be used for so many uses. It's unbelievable. So to answer that question, I've had oils that's 4 years old that is great that I use. 3 months, 6 months. So the shelf life, it's important that you always put a shelf life on especially on a complementary medicine or a medicinal medicine product. I would say shelf lives that we will put on these products is 12 months to 24 months of shelf life that we'll put on it with an expiry date.
So how much does that go for? Let me take a look
This,
at it. Yes.
there you are.
Yes.
Now, this is going to be the beauty of it. This will wholesale in well, retail in Botswana pulas for about 1,000 pula
Yes.
in Botswana.
Yes.
That is what it will retail for. And then obviously what we'll do, we'll give specific licenses and to different companies in Botswana to distribute this. But it's still early days, although if I say early days, we've got no time to waste. But you'll see I'm back next week, and the week after that we'll make this happen extremely fast, that these products will be available. I've foreseen the medicinal cannabinoid inhaler available in Botswana by January, February next year. CannabisMyths will, with your Minister of Health and with your BOMRA, we will push, to make this available to, as fast as possible.
Yes, because I was going to ask basically that what should government prioritize in terms of policies, cannabis and hemp policies when we come to this stage?
I think we will prioritize absolutely everything at once.
Okay.
Because there is a lot of people, and this is just about paperwork. And all of this has been done. This is literally to just implement, here's the paperwork, here's all the documentation, and that's the rules and regulations that will be implemented. So it's going to happen fast.
Okay, quite interesting. What are the biggest myths then about this, and maybe how would you like to project between the myths and the facts? Maybe the top 3 myths about this, because once you roll it out, like I said earlier on, as a society we have questions. As a society, it's a new entrant in the market. Trust me, you have even policymakers who are trying to understand this from scratch before they can make that, put a signature to paper on that policy.
I do understand.
Yes.
I think one of the biggest myths that we need to do is this a drug or is this medicine? This is a medicinal herb. It's it's not a drug. You know, I had a conversation with in South Africa with somebody earlier that that said, but you know, some of the patients, if that flower, if they get the medicinal cannabis flower, that flower head, and because the package works in such a way, it's kids proof. If a kid opens it and he's going to take it and roll a joint and smoke it, you know, then that's a problem. You know, if a person's able to take something like that and actually crush it and put it into something to smoke, it's not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so
yes.
but if a 4-year-old or 5-year-old kid would have got a medicinal cannabis piece of a flower and actually eat it, you can't get high on it because the cannabinoid is not activated. There's no activation to it. So and the myth and the fact is, the myth is this a drug? The fact is this is a medicinal herb. And the fact with hemp is hemp going to work? The fact it's working in a lot of countries and the needs are there, the offtakes are there. That's the facts.
How much then in terms of GDP in Botswana do you see this, if you project, do you see this contributing in the next couple of years, say 5 maybe to say the least?
In the next, I will not be surprised. I think your GDP is $28 billion now, am I right? Somewhere around there, or 26 billion. I will not be surprised if we double or triple your GDP.
Okay.
You know, to take it to 100, I would not be surprised.
Okay.
And you know, it's all about the willingness and you know, your government. And I always say this to people: you must understand, any project that you take, I can give you the fastest horse in the world, the fastest horse. If I put the wrong jockey on the horse, I'm not going to win. I think what happened in Botswana, and I congratulate Botswana, and congratulations to what happened in America with Donald Trump. I want to congratulate, you know, our president in South Africa as well, and the other presidents. That's one. I think you've got to put the right jockey on these fast horses, because these horses are fast, and we want to win this race. And what the race is about, it's about 2 things in Botswana that's important, and Africa and the world, and then that's about the health and the wealth of the people. You know, that is crucial, and this is should be our main focus. You know, making policies sitting 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and making policies, and then when you implement pilots. We don't need to pilot. The research been done. The proof is there. You know, specifically in what we're going to do. We're going to make this happen in Botswana.
Speaking of which, actually, I recall a couple of years ago when you wanted to set up a plant somewhere in the southern region of Botswana. I think with fresh standards.
That's correct, yes.
You ended up finding yourself fighting a legal battle with the government, with the regime at the time.
Yes.
And I recall, I was actually writing the stories, and I went to the farm and I saw all of it happen, and they actually were terminating your permission to cultivate hemp, and you sued government for 1 billion. Where did that case end?
You know what? If he would have carried on now, I would have probably made about $2 billion by now, and government even more. So, but everybody makes mistakes. So I like to think, let's leave the past behind. You know, we went to court, we won the case.
Yes.
Government didn't appeal on a technical issue. I had the opportunity to take it further. You know, I respect what your government did at that time. I don't keep grudges.
Yes.
What happened happened.
Yes. Well, they say
back,
time always
now we're going to happen.
yeah.
So it, you know, and always, you know, and you know, I'm not somebody to speak a lot about stuff like that, but you know, there's a bigger hand, and
Yes,
you know,
yes.
sometimes your prayers don't get answered
Yes, yes.
When you want it, but it takes time, and
Yes.
it happened. Yeah.
I've been observing that you've been putting on, you are more Batman. You have a Batman ring,
Oh,
you have Batman.
yes.
And your WhatsApp DP is Batman. And what's all that?
So, tell me a story about Batman.
Yes.
It actually came from Botswana.
Mm-hmm.
When I was working here with the first hemp license.
Okay.
I was never home, only home on weekends. And there was one weekend, it was a Saturday night. My son was 5 years old. And he said to me, "Yeah, Papa, but you're never at home, and you don't play with us, and you don't spend time with us. We always go to Botswana." And we were watching a cartoon. And I looked at my son and I told him, "I want to tell you a secret, I'm never at home." And he said, "Why?" And I told him, "I'm Batman." Yeah. He says, Papa, that makes sense. That's why you're never at home. We always go to the bat cave in Botswana."
Yes.
And since that time, you know,
that's quite. That's
if
quite
you come to my house and you see it, I believe in Batman. Only superpower I've got is I don't give up.
That's quite interesting.
And I make it work. So.
I'm curious, actually. I've been meaning to ask this question the day I get an opportunity with someone of your stature. How much does it take to own and manage a private jet?
I don't know. I've got no idea.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yours.
I don't own a private jet.
Yes.
So I don't know. Maybe you should ask somebody that owns one. I've got no idea.
So what's your long-term vision for the cannabis hemp industry, especially in Southern Africa, since we are going there as a country?
My long-term vision is to keep the promise that was made in the State of the Nation address.
Yes.
That President 𝗛𝗺𝗺 said, is to create health and wealth for Africa and Botswana, and change the perception, this bad perception that was created about one of the most wonderful, amazing crops that were given to us, to change the narrative and to make the world a better place, and to help poor people, and that we can create jobs and have a great future, have a legacy.
Yes. When I did some research, I got to understand that you have, is it licenses in Brazil? And is it Brazil or South America?
South Africa, and I've got off-takes.
Oh, off-takes.
Yes, off-take agreements, yes.
Okay.
Yes. I actually, by this morning, I spoke to a person that one of the off-takes is for 3 tons a year, medicinal cannabis, and I just told him, listen, we're going to redraft that, because we're fully booked in South Africa with our facilities now, so I'm going to let that come to Botswana when everything is ready here. We'll do that here. So the beauty what's going to happen in Botswana is we're not going to sit and wonder, what are we going to do with this crop that we're growing now? There's off-takes. This is the beauty about this.
The market is already
open. The market is there. It's open.
So there's demand.
There's demand. There's massive demand. And the demand is going to become bigger and better. We need to train people, get going, and implement what we say we're going to do. And this is just a little bit of administration. And everything's going to be done extremely fast. And this is the promise. This is, I think, the difference between, and the opportunity, and the great leadership that you've got at this specific point, is to actually make this happen in a fast and efficient way, that we start with immediate effect. We still want to have plants. I've secured and made sure that we've got 145,000 clones. A clone is where you've got basically a cutting of a plant that's got a little bit of a root on it, to save some time that we can put into the ground, that we've got a running start. My specific project manager for this is a guy called 𝗪𝗺𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙 and you know, the hemp straws and the hemp project, and we will train as much Botswana people as possible that we can create the employment and get this project off the ground with immediate effect.
So two questions before we wrap it up.
Yes.
I know you have to be
Yes.
to some places to be. Demystify this for me. Herb
has been there way beyond biblical times.
Yes.
Why has there been resistance to look at it in the way that you are looking at it from the economic aspects of it, more importantly the medicinal and all the like?
Medicinal ways. You know,
There's been resistance over the
why
years.
the resistance is there, you know, if I think if I can give you this and it can cure and it only costs you a fraction of the price of 20 of this, and I don't make this much profit on this and I can make more profit on this, that's why maybe there's a resistance.
Yeah,
So it
yes.
could be,
I get what
you know, economically, but I think the big pharmaceutical companies are going to get on board, and again, what they've done for the world so far, you know, with sicknesses is great, and we thank you for them, and we thank them. You know, they, like the people say, the big pharma, but cannabis is also the big pharma. So I think that could be the resistance that we've got.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other question was going to be, what transformative progress do you project and envision to see after the establishment and introduction of this in our industries in, say, 5 years to come?
Well,
under
definitely
the presidency
under
of
this presidency,
Mr. Duma Boko, yes.
Mr. Duma Boko,
Yes.
is job creation like we promised, new industries specifically from this, you know, from this and all the other, I believe in all the other, you know, projects that President Duma Boko spoke about. Your GDP will grow, great living wages, total different view on a health sector, and guaranteed and more data that you'll see what, you know, how we will change affordable medicinal products in Botswana. That's not from outside the world, and then obviously the export market will be massive, you know, in Botswana, and population growth will grow in Botswana, because people will be able to afford to have more kids, you know, and also you must understand if you've got a kid, you know, that you've got to have a future for that kid, and this is history in the making, because this will ensure work for those kids, because we will manufacture cars in Botswana, clothing, like I said, so many stuff, medicine, you know, from cannabis and hemp, so many stuff, and we'll get very big players, you know, involved as well.
So could it be stuff that we can introduce in our education curriculum? Because half of the time I've seen that we study something else in our education during our education years, and then you get on the industry, the whole level of operation is just, there's a discord between what we have studied. But if we are introducing new industry, like there's always a debate that we should learn about finances right from an early age.
Yes.
We should learn about diamonds right from an
early age.
Within our agriculture, and maybe whatever part of the curriculum it could be. Have you ever imagined it this way?
Yes, definitely. And in South Africa at 𝗲𝗺 University of Technology, and I already spoke, you know, to them, where I've also been reappointed as, you know, for the next 5 years.
Yes.
That we're going to take those courses for hemp and cannabis, and we're going to bring those courses, you know, to Botswana. And
oh, nice.
We definitely, this is a guarantee. That's I spoke to them; they're very happy with it. So we'll take our university and we'll come and implement that in Botswana and bring all that courses, that knowledge that's actually equivalent to an NQ level 5, which is I think like a matric. We'll bring those courses to Botswana. It's already developed, it's there, and it's already running.
Okay.
From 𝗲𝗺 University of Technology in South Africa, in Vanderbijl Park. So
okay.
We're bringing that to Botswana, yes.
Okay, interesting. I think in closing, maybe you will add on if there's anything maybe you just feel like you need to clarify. In closing, my question will be, what advice would you give to governments and investors exploring the cannabis and hemp industry in this context?
Well, to government, my advice is, again, let's not just talk about it. Let's do what we say, and I think it's getting done. I'm very sure it is getting done. That's why I'm here. To investors is it's not easy, you know, to do this. You've got to get have some experience, but I think the time to invest is, you know, is the right time now, and there's different ways. You know, I'll be back here every week, and we'll tackle the investment part. I think we're going to have a couple of podcasts, you know, with you guys. So we need to bring the investment to Botswana and create the jobs. This is the most important thing, and it's on its way. I'm very excited and very sure about that. And let's protect what we've got.
Oh, that would
Yes.
be nice. That would be nice. I mean, we can have all different of these people from different value chains and streams to get to understand how it works.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
No. Mr. Bernie.
There's something that I wanted to ask,
Okay.
Lawrence. Last thing, you know, I was reprimanded by my wife last night again to do the right thing, and
Yes.
you know, and I've never done what I'm about to do in 30 years of business. So if you can close your eyes and.
Okay.
Dear God, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for answering our prayers. Sometimes it takes longer than we want. God, I want you to please bless Botswana, bless the people of Africa. All of this is your ideas, it's not mine. I must not take the credit of this. Thank you, God. May me not disappoint, and let's make this work for Africa and the world. And please help us, God, with world peace, and thank you for everything you do for us, God. Thank you, God. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Wow, that's powerful, man. Mr. Producer, we just got a new way of closing our show every day with a prayer.
That's
Benny,
the way to do it.
we welcome you to Botswana.
Thank you, Lawrence.
The pleasure is all
Thank you.
ours. I do believe that Botswana are looking forward to working with you, getting to understand all of this, because people are optimistic, people want jobs, people want to work. I do believe that you are bringing something that is quite valuable, and we will see how we work together as it rolls out as Botswana.
I'm very excited.
Yes.
Thank you, Botswana. I'll be here a lot. We're going to make this work, guys.
Yes.
Very excited. And thank you for having me here. And
Yes.
thank you for the opportunity. We will not
Yes.
disappoint.
Yes.
And again, congratulations to all the new ministers,
Yes.
your new president of the country, Duma Boko. Thank you for the vision. And thank you for the kindness of all your kind people in Botswana. I love the Botswana people.
Yes. Well, thank you. This has been a journey and a half. I do believe that obviously there are still some other lingering. Let's let it simmer. We'll keep on engaging and asking more and more questions. They say Rome wasn't built in a day. And also exciting new industries as they crop up. We'll always have misconceptions, questions. It will take us implementing and actually getting to touch the products and being part of the value chains for us to see and believe, and ultimately be able to support and do all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, I was joined by Professor 𝗵𝗵𝗺, who's a South African entrepreneur and a serious advocate of the herb industry in Southern Africa. So we are looking for greater things to come as Botswana. Bula.
Voilà.